Hi Lifers, it's Ashley. I'm back. This tutorial is going to be on easy, um, long-lasting, and perfecting foundation routine for people. I guess it could be for anybody because I think honestly, half the time younger people cake on their makeup too much. And the older that you get, I say this is a tutorial for people over 35. Um, the older you get, the more cakey you can look in makeup and your foundation routine. And so I found that this works really, really well to give kind of an airbrushed effect to the skin. And this can be for anybody, but I just found that this starts to work for a lot of people my age bracket, 35 and older. When I do clients, they usually are in their early 30s all the way up to their 50s and 60s, and all their skin looks really great using this technique. So that's what I'm doing. So let's start. And I decided to do a lot of my tutorials in natural sunlight. Today is a Saturday and I have nothing to do. And so this is the perfect time to film. Because I am a mom and a full-time nurse during the week. So what I start with, first I start with a really good moisturizer. It's really important for skin prep to have your face clean and moisturized, especially the older you get, the drier your skin gets. So of course I started with that. I use Neutrogena Hydro Boost line. During the day, I use stronger moisturizers at night. But prepping your skin will make a world of difference for how long. And sometimes I do my skin before brow, sometimes, and eye makeup sometimes after. Honestly, it seems like if I want to slap makeup on really quick and I don't want to mess up my brows, I usually do my foundation first. What I just put into my skin, I'm really liking this, is the Rare Beauty. It's kind of pore filling. It's not a mattifying primer. It's just a nice hydrating but not dewy primer, and it fills in and makes things a little bit more even, and I really, really like that. So after you're done with that, press that all into your skin. And I love the Tarte. Okay, this is for we all have pores on our skin, especially in your T-zone, which is here. All right, here is where everybody's biggest pores are, unless you're blessed to not have any, but I don't know anybody that way. And so it's the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer Base. It's just the freaking bomb. I'm sorry, there's nothing better. Elf's tried to do the Putty Pore Primer as a cheap dupe. I don't know. The older I get, I don't have to be as cheap, and especially the older you get, you don't want to be cheap on your base products. So I just press that in and literally it smooths over your pores. But I only use this one in this, you see it on camera. And I don't even have a good camera right now. I'd like to eventually get one. But it smooths over your pore area. So I use the main primer all over your face. That was the Rare Beauty. And then I use the Tarte poreless one right in your T-zone. And then usually I'll wait a minute or two. Today I'm not going to do that because it's a tutorial and you guys will get freaking annoyed that this is too long. I was watching a video today. This lady, Anna, she's actually a fashion type. She's more of like a fashion YouTube. And it was so funny because I decided, I'm like, I'll start a YouTube. Like, I'm not too old. I'll just do this. And if it isn't like a few days after I start my YouTube channel, I get a thing that says in her feed is, start a YouTube this year. Here's what to do and what not to do. So I got a lot of tips. And one of them is, okay, stop talking so much. If you're going to say something's quick and easy to do, just get to the frickin' point. Don't sit and talk about your family, which I did on my first video. Don't even watch it. I mean, maybe watch it, but it's so freaking embarrassing. Okay. I'm getting a little better though, which is good. The longer I'm from the camera. So after that stuff set down for a second, I have 3 setting sprays that I usually use. First one, Milani Make It Last. I use this daily because it's so cheap and it actually works really well. So this is what I'm going to use on my base. The other ones are Urban Decay, and my final setting spray, usually I will only use this on clients for photo shoots because I want stuff to last, or if I'm going out like with my husband for date night and I'd be out for 6 hours sweating in on the dance floor, then I want my stuff to, and that's very mattifying. This is kind of an in-betweener. I'll take this and then fan yourself, of course, because no one can wait for their base to dry. I got this cute top today. I guess I don't know if I, oops. This cute little, and then I'm loving Abercrombie jeans. It's just the bomb. Oh gosh, I aged myself. Abercrombie was super cool when I was in high school, and I graduated in 2002. So like in the late 90s, and then there was this weirdo that was running it. He stepped down as, I don't know if you've seen the video on it. What's it called? The show, I don't know, there was a documentary on it, and they sold that out, and now they've revamped everything. They're more inclusive sizing, pretty much every size, and their stuff is awesome and it lasts forever. I don't know why I told you about that. Anyway, so the setting spray is dry. Then what I like to do is I like to go in, I think these are called puppy paws or dog paws. I think it's because that's the shape of it. I also use a flat kabuki brush for some things. A lot of times I'll use this for body makeup. This one's from Laura Lee, but this is from Real Techniques. It's kind of like a really wide flat brush. I'm losing my sunlight. I want you to be able to see my face. So it's, yeah, this flat brush like that, and it's a big one. And then I also, the other one I use for concealer a lot, same exact shape, and this is actually a Laura Lee brush too. She's a YouTuber. This is a smaller version. I use this for concealer. I, not until this year, actually knew that, like, even knew that that shape exists. I guess makeup artists use it a lot, but I really love it. So, sorry, I'm just looking for my foundation. I actually tried out this new one from Haus Labs. It's Lady Gaga's brand, and it's really good. It's a serum foundation. It's kind of a medium tint. I actually have that on my chest. You always have to do makeup on your neck and chest, or it makes you, or no matter how good your face looks, you're gonna look old. I used that on my chest. I set it with powder, and then I sprayed it, but this is the one, Haus Labs. I really like it. It's lighter than what I'm going to use on my face, which is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible 24-hour wear. It really is 24 hours. This one, I would say, the other one's more medium. This is more medium to full, and that one is, the Haus is more of a serum. I'm going to say it's not going to last as long. It's more moist. But the L'Oreal, it dries down to, it's not matte, but it dries down to like a soft type matte. And what I do is I just shake up my foundation. I would put it on a palette, but for me, I just put it on my desk that I work from. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a little bit on your brush. This is not squirt a bunch on your brush and just start going like this. This is what makes your foundation look phenomenal, is light layers. So what you're going to do, and I like to start, because I like the most coverage, in the center of my face. So I start from the center, and I start to move outward. Oh, why did I do that? I'm still getting used to YouTube and not putting my, when I drag it down, using my camera to actually do everything instead of using my mirror. Because obviously I wouldn't do that. So, see all this discoloration? It's real life, bitch. No one has perfect, well, no, there are people that have perfect skin. Again, my sister, who's 20, almost 21, perfect skin, perfect eyebrows, perfect body, no stretch marks, not an ounce of cellulite on her entire body. I'm just like, God I know God loves me, but I think God hates me when it comes to genetics. I'm like a foot taller than her. I weigh like 100 pounds more. Maybe not 100, no, I don't weigh 100 pounds more. And see? So I started in the center, and I'm picking up a little bit. Look how good that looks. Picking up a little bit at each time. And don't forget your ears. You want it to match your bright ass pink ears. Cover it. So that's where we're at right now. Pretty. So in between, I'll start to do, what the hell is that? I'll start to, after a good layer, I don't even actually use a wet beauty blender because I feel like it's going to pick up too much product. And honestly, that's why I don't use like a beauty sponge. It's because it picks up too much makeup. I feel like brushes leave you with a lot more foundation, so you don't use as much. But I use this to push it into, and this is why everything looks so airbrushed, is because I'm at between every single thing, I'm pushing it into my skin. Now this is the tough one. So start at the center of your face again. And once I'm going around my brows, that's why I said I don't have to worry about this one. I do my foundation before my brows. But start there and start moving outward. And go all the way up to your hairline. You can always clean up your hairline with a makeup wipe. I go all the way up. And then I will take, sorry if this is clinky. I was trying to learn from my first video. I'm trying to learn every single time that I do a video. Like, how annoying was I? Was I clinky? Was I awkward? But that's just how starting YouTube goes, right? I don't have to be perfect. They say in nursing. So I picked up a little extra on this. It's a little thicker. Like, this is more of a concealer, a normal concealer brush. And I take more of the foundation and I kind of just go around. And any little spots that I can't go in with that humongous brush, I'll use on this just so I can get way closer and more precise around my brow. To get rid of some of the, everybody has some, I think most people have redness on their skin. And get rid of some of that. Then I kind of go in and check. It's way easier to look in my mirror than it is to look on there. But see, now I don't just keep caking, even though there's a few extra spots on here that are not like as full coverage as I'd like to be covered. Like, I have some broken blood vessels, a little bit of discoloration on my cheeks, totally normal. Sometimes I'll go back in and kind of add a little more extra coverage there, or I'll just leave it right there. And this is what I'll do next. I'll use concealer. So I use 2 different concealers. It's always good to get so these are Hourglass. These are my favorite. I always have one that matches my skin tone, and then one that's a little bit brighter for the under eyes, because you get a little bit dark there. I mean, sometimes I'll use the skin tone one for both, but I have been kind of liking a little bit of brightness under the eye, but nothing crazy. Like, some people put like a big old square. And I take my concealer and stuff I don't like right here. I have a little bit of brown. I'll take that because that's where I want my extra coverage, and that's what concealer is. It's for the little extra coverage. Foundation is to even your skin out. So it's not for you to look like cakey and like you have a shit ton of foundation on. It's to even out your skin tone, which is, from what you can see it completely even me out. Now, concealer is to conceal that little extra stuff that foundation won't. I take a little there, and this is my concealer, like puppy paw or dog paw or whatever it's called. I add a little there. And then I take whatever is left over on my brush. Another trick is the longer or the more full coverage you want your concealer to be, the longer you leave it in place. I kind of notice that if I go like this, it kind of gives a lifted effect to my face too. So I'll kind of move my foundation in that direction and concealer. What was I gonna say? I got lost in train of thought, and when I watch this back, I'll be like, you dumb hell. Okay. This is the same one. So I'm going in now. I'm ready to conceal my under eye and the center of my face. I like mine a little bit brighter there, so I'm using Fawn, which is a brighter color. I have no clue the undertones on this, but that's what works. Do not use too much. Come on. This is full coverage concealer. Do not, the way you are going to look older, the older you are, is because you aren't using a little dab here, a little dab here. If you're like, you can do that when you're 20. You can't do it when you're old. We're not old, right? We're as old as we feel. I just kind of like that. Looks so freaking stupid. So, oh Lord. I take my little concealer brush. I use too much. And I brighten this area of my face. A lot of people have redness around their nose. Sometimes I'll add on my nose. And the reason is I'll use that, but I won't dab anymore. I'll use that larger amount and I'll spread it all over my entire face. So I'll use it here. I'll use a little bit under my nose. Look how good that's looking. And this is without filter, without a ring light, without anything. It's looking this good. That's why I kind of like that we're doing this in natural light, because you're getting the point that makeup is not supposed to, you see TikTok makeup? I'm not on TikTok. But you see TikTok makeup. See how when you brush it upward like that, it gives a lift eye to your effect. That's what I love. Right there. And then I'll take, when you're, anyway, I was talking about TikTok. They're so filtered. I don't have a filter on my dang phone. All I have is natural sunlight. And you can look this good. It's called Makeup for Real Life. See? Swoop up. Gives you that effect. Push it in. Oh, looking so good. Then, when you're done with that, push it into your skin with your sponge. This gets rid of any residue. And it makes you look freaking snatched. Look at that. That's a perfect complexion. I am going to add a little bit of extra coverage here, because I'm looking a little brown. A little extra coverage there. Sorry, you don't care if you're looking in that thing right now. Okay. So let's get you a little more sun. So that's what we look like. Everything's pressed into the skin. Everything's looking flawless. You have no cake. And then, I mean, I like cake, but no cake face. And then I'm going to take, this is when I'll take my little bit stronger setting spray, which is the Urban Decay. And once you're done with your concealer and your foundation, you're spraying it. It gives it a little bit of extra stuff. So, and you give it a little second so you're not pulling up your foundation. Look at that. I mean, we went from not hideous, because I know I'm not hideous, but to so even and flawless and perfect. Dry it out a little bit, and that's when you set your setting spray again. And this makes it where you don't have pores. Everything gets pushed into the skin the older you get. Push into your skin. Push into your skin. And the reason I just did that with my eyes is because now I'm going to go in with my powders. under my eye is always Charlotte T Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. It's the thinnest, it's the best. Pretty much every, I don't even know when I started to get creasing, but certainly everybody over 35 has to have a good setting powder. Don't get the cheap crap from the drugstore. It's just not as good. And you're going to end up with crepe. No one wants crepe. And then before you set your under eye, you always push your wrinkles in, or because any kind of concealer is going to kind of settle. Push that, get your wrinkles out, set. Now, final step. You can do this with a beauty sponge, or I still use my tried and true. It's sewed, I don't even know. These little beauty triangles from Tati Beauty. You can get the beauty triangle, like little sponge puffs, Amazon. I've never bought them, but I do see that you can get those on there for like 20 bucks. And you're gonna take, so then I take my one size translucent, any kind of translucent setting powder, and I dip into it and I get a little bit on my powder puff, okay? And now I'm gonna push it into my pores. This is so important. This is how you get airbrushed pores. You push your setting powders into your nose. Again, picking up a little bit more light layers, nothing crazy on your sponge or your beauty puff or whatever. You press that into your pores. Honestly, I've gotten into the habit of pressing it everywhere. Press it. You don't take a big flat fluffy powder brush, which I still like these as like a little finisher. You don't take this and just go. It doesn't work when you're old. It doesn't. That's why you'll see people with powder. They're also not setting, but they're not pressing things into their skin. This is how you get a flawless base. Important between your eyes. Anywhere that you have bigger pores and you want to be matte, you're setting it with a puff. Oh, I wish you guys could see actually how good this looks. I mean, I guess you can. It looks so much better than when we started, right? And then I might take a little bit of powder puff around. Blow off any so you don't get the extra chunks. And I might kind of just do that as here and down my neck. Look at that. The absolute perfection of life. This is what perfect skin, and that's how I do my skin every single day. I swear you'll get quicker at it. And while we're thinking about it, you might have to, dude, I use spit. Is that weird? It's so gross. I guess I should not do that. I'll put a little settings for my spoolie. We all do gross stuff when it's our own face, right? You wouldn't do this to anybody else. But brush them up. I have no fucking shame. None. There. Brush up your brows. And then you do one more set because your powders. Dry it off. What happens next? Oh gosh. You'll clean this all up with makeup wipe. What happens next? You press it in again. So light layer concealer, set your whole face, press in the powders, set your whole face. It's really about prep even before you put foundation down. When you use your primers, do your whole primer, set your whole face, and then start with your foundation and then move in, work. And this is where I'll kind of press on my eye. Work in light layers and you will have a perfect foundation for makeup. No matter what age you are, look less cakey, less crepey using this technique. See you later.